Guys, it's time to roast. And you know what's so funny? I know you guys want this back. Trust me, I was just trying to be nice and get some other type of content going, but you know, some people are just not going to want to support that. Though I support people. Interesting. A PlayStation game is #1 on Xbox, says True Gamer. That means Xbox has no games, he said. Not making any sense. They're getting more games than ever. And there's more available on Game Pass than you could imagine. I mean, dude, there's so much content now that you don't even have enough time to enjoy it even on one platform. So let's not play that. That is so funny because you Xbox fanboys say the same thing, so I'm throwing it right back in your face. Guys, where did I say PlayStation has no games? So I said Sony canceled too many games this year. They did. You didn't have anything, man. You were playing Xbox games. What's the last thing you had? Astrobot? And then remember Spider-Man, the last big game before that? Sony will usually have more stuff than that. So Microsoft is filling so many gaps this year for their base and for PlayStation. They're going to be putting games on Switch. Watch, stuff's coming around. Actually, I announced Indiana Jones. There was a thing talking about Starfield as well. So honestly, they're in a better position than what they are compared to what they were before. I tell people, okay, if you really want to look at Microsoft and see if they're improving, because yeah, there's some things they can mess up on. Obviously, I agree. We've already been through this. See how they are internally compared to what they were before. Not necessarily always comparing them to something outside themselves, because it's like I tell people, if you really want to improve yourself, you have to work on your insides, but not always comparing to somebody else. Because then you'll be too distracted looking at somebody else all the time. Microsoft can't keep looking at PlayStation all the time, right? If they want to get better, they have to go work on their internal. And the in-house needs to be more powerful, and they have been doing that. So I would say Microsoft compared to the earlier Series X compared to right now, the gaming content is way better. Things are starting to come into fruition now. So you throwing that right back in my face, I'm trying to figure out what do you mean by that? Because that's funny. Okay, we're gonna get some more comments here, but there's a lot of stuff here. Here's what Maxima says: trying to turn news like this into a positive for Xbox is crazy work. Y'all love PlayStation games so much more than get a PlayStation. What do you mean, bro? I've been doing this for such a long time. How did you never not see this? Pony, sit down. The hell is wrong with you? Telling me to get a PlayStation. I got more platinums than you, I bet. Show me, bro, yeah, I want you to show me your platinums. Y'all love PlayStation games so much. What do you mean, bro? You just put the first PlayStation game on Xbox. Yeah, everybody knows Helldivers, but hey, man, that's Team Arrowhead. They're independent. Let's see what this idiot has to say. Okay, so he says Xbox gamers love PlayStation games. Oh, I think they like really good video games. You guys seem to like Forza, so I have to say you like Xbox games. You buy, you know, all those other things. Dude, that's not gonna work. You're gonna have to come with something better than that. Sit down. Which one of you two goes on? hey, you know, Mike's checking y'all with that. Y'all gonna have to get on that. Okay, what first party Sony studio made this? He asked him. It's exactly the same that Xbox games have been #1 on PlayStation for months. That's what I was just saying. I've never read this, by the way, y'all. Which by your logic means PlayStation has no games either. You don't make no sense. Grow up. Jump. The positive is that there are narrative that Xbox gamers don't buy games and rely on Game Pass. And that's the thing. It's because Helldivers wasn't on there, and Sony was coming with a good video game. Xbox gamers will still support a real good video game, and they're not necessarily going to buy anything. But that's why I was saying that when we think about Helldivers, you have to think that it is literally one of the most perfect. It's like a golden demographic for Xbox. I just don't understand how people didn't think it wouldn't sell 1 million when I told them that. So trying to say Xbox is not going to buy games and then test them on Helldivers, to me, I was like, if you tried something else that wasn't, maybe, yeah, but that game is going to pass. I just already knew it was. I'm telling you, it's going to go past 1 million. Remember I said it's going to go past 1 million, I promise you, 100%. Let's keep going. So going down, man, all these replies, y'all, what the hell is going on over here? True Gamer, Helldivers 2 has achieved over 12 million total sales, PC and PlayStation 5 combined, within its first 12 weeks of release. Nice try, Xbot. Okay, he's calling me an Xbox. Okay, an Xbot. Dude, you're talking about the sales where the majority of this game were happening at that time, because it wasn't on Xbox, literally PC was carrying kind of. Honestly, I feel like if Helldivers released equally on PlayStation and Xbox, it wouldn't be a huge gap. PC though is supporting it massively. They have like 65% of the total sales or whatever. Maybe a little bit more. I think it was 70% at one point. So what the hell are we talking about? And why are you calling me an Xbot? I'm a true gamer. I like Xbox, I like Nintendo, and I like PlayStation, but I don't like what Sony has been doing lately. Love PC gaming as well. Love Sega, but they're not here around anymore. But anyways, sit your punk ass down too, because you don't know what you're talking about. So let's continue. This guy says, when did the pony start counting PC sales as PlayStation sales? LOL. Moving them goalposts, ain't we? First 12 weeks, man, the PlayStation 5 numbers are so bad you have to add Steam numbers to PlayStation to be a W. Xbox sold more than PlayStation in the same window, so don't be a fanboy who only cares about PC when it's convenient to your argument. PlayStation got beat, so you have to inflate your numbers with PC. Besides, it sold more on PC than PS5. Hey, bro, you know what? I be coming with the fire. That guy just roasted your ass. he came in really good. You know what? You know what, Jay? Let me go ahead and give you a like and a heart. JD Productions. He came in here with the facts, slamming hard against you, true gamer. What happened, man? Looks like we got somebody else saying, ponies, sit down. We got to get WWE up in here on you. Yeah, you don't want to see me. You don't want to bring this out. Let's keep going. You want some entertainment? It's here. Okay, Morris says, careful, he or she is baiting you. Cry more. A PlayStation game is #1 on Xbox. That means Xbox has no games. Once again, bro, you better get the mirror. Hold up. Guys, hold on. You know the funny thing about this type of stuff is very funny to me. Dude, I hate to say it to you, and I have to say this, but Sony canceled so many games on you this year, and you ain't had none in a while. Why you think Microsoft was dominating #1 publisher on PlayStation Store for a while? Because you had no games. Microsoft at least had games for their base. What are we talking about? That doesn't make any sense this year. You know me, I give a W with a W. Sony's winning a lot of categories. When I say this year, I'm sorry. Microsoft is winning in the software category. As I told you before, of course you want that perfect balance across territories, having, software sales and hardware, but at the end of the day, I want some really good video games. Game Pass does a really good job with that. I'll give them credit where it's due. I criticize what I criticize, but I cannot agree with that this year. Now, last year, Sony was really good because they had a powerful start at the beginning. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, remember that? I played that game. I got the platinum on that. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Rise of Ronin, Stellar Blade, they're coming out. It has some heat. That's what I'm saying. And then, after that, it just went way down. And it was kind of disappointing after that drop off, but it was nice after that. And then Microsoft started to fill the gaps towards the end of the year with Call of Duty, Indiana Jones, Stalker, and all that, and they kept on going very positive. I was loving that pro-consumer route that it seems like that they were pushing, right? And they're getting back on track. They reduced the price down, but that's good. I'm glad you did that. Self-correction is good. But yeah, they're doing all that, and they're releasing a lot of content. We still got Ninja Gaiden coming, Outer Worlds 2 coming. They have a lot of content, and they're putting that on other platforms. So I have to say, from a gaming perspective this year, Pony, sit down, because you're about to get finished. Finish him. Xbox is butter. Dripping butter. Sony needs to get that back going. Helldivers 2 is already out, but they're expanding that, and that's good. No, Sony's making some turnarounds too, because compared to what they were, like I said, I give credit where it's due. All those cancel stuff, they're now doing things with all gamers on platforms. I can't believe we're playing Helldivers like this together. Sony doing this, right? They denied crossplay last gen. You have to give them credit for that. You can't sit there and be a loser and still try to paint Sony in a negative picture. You have to also be better if they're going to be better. Are you saying they're worse than you and they did that? So you're saying you can't do better too? No, some of you, man, you gotta not be too obvious, because those people are seeing through you. And I'm like, come on, man, y'all, they're seeing through you. You know what I mean? Be a little bit better. Still love all y'all though. You know what I mean? That's y'all's drama. That's y'all's business. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, man, I'm staying out of that. But there's, I'm just not gonna do that. All right. Let's keep going. Xbox hasn't released a game since 2019. guys, what are we doing here? What the hell is this guy talking about? Nice try. They bought the studios, but they're not Xbox games. Okay, yeah, they bought them and put their stamp on it, but so what? They decided to say yes. They could have said no. That's why I'm saying, like, when you realize that, you're like, dude, it takes two to tango. They're okay with that. If not, they would have said no. Do I agree on some people selling out? No. But did they say yes? Just like Microsoft asked? They both said yes. If they said no, they wouldn't have got them. Had to be an agreement, right? So if you're upset about Microsoft about that, you should also be upset at the people that decided to do that. If that was the case, you know what I mean? But I'm still going to take those benefits, and they're putting it on Game Pass. Now, do I want the developers to get worse over time? No, and I hope Microsoft can do a better job with that. So that's kind of tough to ask for because, you know, just depending on how the industry works and who's leading. It's not black and white. Sometimes it's a lot more complicated than that. But so he said 10 million on PC, not true. Yeah, I don't understand in 2019. Xbox First Party Studios has not released a game since 2019. Nice try, though. That's crazy. Not really, bro. That's not true. Okay. Their own Xbox First Party Studios, they are all Xbox First Party games. Weren't you saying that Helldivers is a Sony game, even though it's not even made by a Sony studio? That's called second party, meaning that, or you could say first party because they'll look, I've been in this debate. We're about to end this right now. Hold on. And it depends on if you guys want to accept this or not. Watch this. I just want to show something to you guys. Second party game. This is a big thing that people are always arguing with. So let's just go ahead and look into it. All right, we ready for this? Because this stuff is actually important. Second party games refer to games made by a developer that, while not owned by the console manufacturer, has a special relationship with it, often developing games exclusively for their platform. I've been in so many debates with PlayStation gamers over this by saying that I think Helldivers could mean second party too, because in order to fully be first party, you have to own the studio and are making for you. Sony does not own Arrowhead, but they own that IP. So they're like, what do you call that then? I'll say second party. But if not, Sony says it's first party. Okay, but like I said, right here, it's saying, unlike first party internally and third party fully independent, developers, second party developers operate under unique contracts with platform holders, creating games that are exclusive to their specific console. So you can have a lot of exclusives that you own the IP, but it's second party. It's not a first party game. It's interesting, doesn't it? Not a lot of people look into this. I've been in playing debates with people over this. I'm like, do you guys know what second party is? And there's some people say, oh man, that's just, it doesn't matter. I'm like, but dude, what do you mean? Somebody has to find a definition for that behavior. First party means I own you and you're making for me. So what do we got to say about that? Xbot detected. Ridiculous. The Xbox fanboys are just delusional. LOL, trust me. I think delusion can exist in all fields. Could some have more higher percentage than others? Like thinking that, you know, Xbox has no games this year, but PlayStation does? You're not making any sense to me. Definitely a lot of them are their games. All right, in your own comment, you refer to Helldivers as a PlayStation game, yet it isn't made by a Sony studio. But by your dumb logic, games that are both owned and made by Xbox studios are Xbox games. That's what I'm saying, guys. You literally arguing with yourself. He's right, though. He's right, though. Because, guys, by this definition, think about it. He's right. He's arguing with himself because he's trying to claim that, like I said, they agreed Microsoft owns them and they're making a game for them. Yeah, I know they're pre-established. So what? We've been over this already. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the difference between first party and second party. And now people need to know what the hell it means. Does it have to be important to some people? No, but if you want to win an argument, you gotta know what you're talking about here. So, oh yeah, I was gonna look at that, but that's different. Okay. He says, oh my God, you're so stupid, it's going right over your head. Not really, bro. You're not seeing it. I can't wait for him to see this video. Whatever you say, kid, I agree. They ain't, but you are having double standards. 100%. By going by your own words, if a company buys a studio that isn't the work of Sony or Microsoft, as they don't count, then better get ready to say that all of Naughty Dog's work isn't as they was bought in 2001. It's not a rule for one and not a rule for the other. So thanks for saying Sony hasn't been making games either. Stuff like Last of Us and other works by that studio no longer count. What he's trying to say, I get what he's trying to say, and somebody's gonna say, Sony worked with those, but no, that's not the point. The point is that Sony acquired and all of them. They did work with them to get them to that point. Yes, I know, but that's not what we're talking about here. Once again, we're talking about a guy trying to use as something first party while denying something that's first party, but what he's trying to use as first party is actually a second party game. Right? He's trying to say, no, Helldivers is Sony. But, you know, Microsoft bought them and it's all, dude. No. As a matter of fact, what you're trying to do should be applied to Helldivers too. Does everybody understand that? You know what I mean by the definition that is set here? It's not making any sense. Now, if you wanted to argue, but Sony, when they acquire studios, they elite, well, okay, okay, they're not prepackaged, yeah, whatever. But that's not what this is about. So anyways, Pony, sit down. We pretty much get this here. Guys, there's even more on these other threads, but this is enough right here. It's like, man, it gets crazy over here. I made this Helldivers video today, and just look how nuts it's getting. There's another freaking thread over here with 9 replies. This guy right here, I'm sending it right here because I like Cody's Wood. He says, really, like, we can all trust Cody's. Cody's was a cool guy. He likes Xbox, so what? Still a cool guy. I'm very disappointed in the Helldivers sales numbers. It would have been better if it was like 3 mil, I guess. Then Xbox fanboys don't buy games after all. This person's ridiculous because they keep coming out a lot of videos. It's funny. First it was 2 million. And 1 million is not enough. Now he's moving the goalpost to 3 million because I think you're insecure and you feel like Microsoft may be creeping up faster than what Sony's doing. So you're moving it to 3 million and make it seem like that's the only thing that's good enough. See what I mean? Why are we doing this? If it was day one, it would have easily. This is what I mean. They're also ignoring the launch differences, not knowing that this is how many people on Xbox actually still wanted to play that game alone in this vicinity right now. What I mean by that? PC got its max 2-page drained out, PlayStation 2-page drained out, you know what I mean? So this is all the stuff. Xbox came in way after that and then still sold this much. If they would have been there the same day as PlayStation and PC, they would have more sales. Because it's just a demographic, it fits that console. I'm not saying that would always be the case, but for this game, I really think things would be different, but that right now we can only dream of that, even if we knew that would be the case, and we have to deal with it right now. And right now we're into that 1 million. And I'm telling you right now, let's go for that 1.5 million. Oh yeah, very doable, I believe so. Probably not. It would have probably be the same. I mean, we can't really say that, but I get what he's saying. It didn't even sell 3 million on PlayStation, which has a larger user base, so you should even be more disappointed in them. When we said before, we want to talk about this, now let's talk about ratio. What has a higher ratio percentage based off of the console base? See? The Xbox. The amount of millions that it has, or the millions about to hit, and then over time, compared to the install base, compared to Sony's, like 80-something million and what they sold, would you think they're like far apart or something? You guys are not thinking about that. You're just looking at the number and still not seeing the difference of it had this much to sell this long too. So when we factor in all that, what's the point of hating? I don't get why we're not all celebrating in this kind of fashion, but this is where things are going, man. Either way, Xbots don't buy games. 3 million, Final Fantasy 16, PlayStation, and Xbox, what? It's not really... I would say that's a bad comparison. Final Fantasy does fit the PlayStation demographic, but 16 came late too, and they're trying to charge 70 for it. It's not going to really work on the Xbox base, and it's not really what they're looking for. So anyways, we get the idea here again. More Helldivers drama. Let me know what you guys think about this. Had to bring you guys Assault Forum and see how they're hating. Oh, don't worry, there's a lot more coming. Tune in, and you know what's going down. All right, y'all. Peace out. Have a great day. Sit down.